I am continuing my exploration of Erika Kirk and my theory of her being the creation of a larger beast. I think that Erika Kirk is being positioned to be puppeteered as a cash cow. And I suspect that her mother is playing a primary hand in how she ended up where she ended up. Now, there's a larger conglomerate at play, 100%, 100,000%. But my exploration is kind of zooming in on this like mother-daughter dynamic. Now, what I wanted to explore in this video is the JD Vance hug. I'm laughing, but it's so sad and awkward. It's one of those things where you have to like, oh man, you kind of have to like laugh to alchemize it. So I want to examine that interaction within the framework I'm presenting of Erika actually being groomed. So one of the things that I've pointed out in previous videos is when someone, let's just say when a perpetrator is grooming someone, in that process, they are eroding a gut instinct. They are eroding the spirit. They are eroding the intuitive aspect of self. And the point of that erosion is simply because the perpetrator plans to do things that are not right, that are uncomfortable, that are going to transgress or violate that person, that child, or a code of ethics. So I need to make sure as I'm grooming you, I'm eroding you having any sort of signals or fire like alarms going off, because there are going to be bad or wrong things happening and I don't want this person to put up a fight. So I'm going to groom them to make them seem like this is okay. I'm going to groom them to make it seem like this is normal. That's essentially what's going on. Because in the grooming, the point is I want this person to be as pliable as possible. I want them to be as malleable as possible because I have plans that I want and I'm going to use them for. That's what I'm saying. It's disgusting, one, but it's puppeteering. And that's the read I get on Erika Kirk, honestly, is it feels like she's being puppeteered. So in grooming, as this radar system of what's intuitive, of what's instinctual is being eroded, what ends up happening is that person exhibits inappropriate behaviors because they're not reading a room. They're what is normal, what would be ethical, what would be appropriate, there's just not a radar system for. Now, of course, every situation is different depending on who the perpetrator is, who is being groomed, how the groomed responds to them. Some people have more fight or kick in them than others. But for this dialogue specifically, what I'm getting with Erika is that she has just lost a radar system. And it feels like she's very out of touch. Like, I know I keep laughing, but I don't know, like, it's just great. It's ridiculous. It just seems like her public persona is completely out of touch. Her behaviors, her decisions of becoming the CEO out of touch, the conversation she's having out of touch, the Zoom calls she's having out of touch, the outfit choices, the fashion, completely out of touch. It seems like she's just putting her foot in her mouth every step of the way. And my read on this is, my suspicion is she has been groomed by her mother, is my theory. And with that, she's been put in rooms where other people are going to take advantage of her and basically use her to be malleable for their own gain. And she thinks she's going to be on top, but that's part of the trick, right? You get something, you're the star of the show, you're the powerhouse here, but actually you look like a fool and we're just taking advantage of you. That's my read on it. Anyway, back to the JD Vance hug. So I don't know the specifics of what happened with Erika Kirk as a child. I don't know the dynamic. I was not there. I am just a wee person on the internet who is just on one side of this cell phone screen consuming a portion of information that's out there. This is what I want to share with you. When I saw and heard some commentary on the JD Vance hug, I immediately actually thought of two women in my life who have been my best friends. Both of them, unfortunately, have been abused sexually as a child. So I had one best friend in high school. So I've witnessed her interact in some odd ways as a teenager. And then the second woman I'm thinking of, still my best friend, we met in my early 20s. I'll share a story there. So one of the things I thought was like very odd is the way both of them like related to older men felt kind of bizarre to me. And there were some instances and like some isolated points where it's like, why are they doing that? Or why are they saying that? Or like, why are they talking like that? Like, why do their eyes look like that? Like, it was very odd. And I could tell it was unconscious. I could tell they weren't trying to do anything. It was just like it was a weird disposition that they had. Now, for reference, I myself have been very fortunate. Have never been abused. Never been abused physically, never been abused sexually. I don't even think, I have not had perfect relationships, but I would not consider myself ever abused. Come from a two-parent household. I have a mother and father who love and adore me, and I love and adore them. What I'm saying is this type of grooming, this perpetrator thing, men and women, parental figures, whether you were raised by your mother or father, or perhaps you were raised by a paternal figure or maternal figure, regardless, when they are in their good health, they sniff out that shit a mile away. Because it's instinctual. It's like an animal instinct. Like, that's a perpetrator over there. That's an unsafe environment over there. That's a threat over there. I don't want anything to do with you. My kid's not going over there. My kid's not coming back to this extracurricular activity. My kid's not coming back to this after school program. Like, when you have adults in their good health, they sniff that out so quick. That's what I'm saying. It's weird when it happens, and it's weird when other adults allow it to continue to happen or in denial about it, because that child then starts to become accustomed to just gross adults, predator adults in their life. So when you have adults who are looking out for you, who are advocating for you, you get a different radar system. You start to like perceive yay or nay, yay or nay. And I will say, I think children who are unfortunately exposed to predators or who have suffered by the hands of them also can have this radar system. But I do think there's a subset of people, like Erika in particular, where it's just kind of blurred. It's like there isn't really a distinction that's being made on like good or bad, right or wrong, I shouldn't, right? There's a blurred line there. So in this blurred line, I'm going to tie this back to a dear friend of mine and this memory I have of her and I. So we went to this community event, and it was neat. It was a gathering, and it was like a kind of like a discussion and a learn type of situation. So there was like gathering, food, talked a little bit, walked around this place, and there was this older gentleman who was speaking and teaching us. We were learning from him. Very good man, very, very wholesome, very good energy. And he was teaching us about the historical aspect of what we were learning. And I remember us sitting down. We were sitting down at one point. My friend was sitting next to him, and she had put her hand on his knee. He did not respond. He did not flinch. He did not acknowledge, lean into any of it. But she put his hand on his knee, and I remember thinking that was so bizarre. And I remember feeling uncomfortable by it. because it felt too intimate for me for the context we were in. Like, it would not be instinctual to me. It would not feel natural to me to put my hand on a man's knee, especially an older man who, one, regardless, okay? Two, for like a stranger, someone I just met, that doesn't feel appropriate. And it was very odd that that's what like was natural to her. And I'm just sharing this as an example because when I saw the JD Vance hug and the commentary, when I'm using the lens of the grooming, right, that framework that I'm presenting, that's 100% what I get. It's like there's no read on what the context actually asks for. In fact, it's like too intimate for what this is. It's all of it's wrong. It's like too soon after your husband's married. It's like too personal for like a political public rally. It's too intimate for how colleagues or friends are supposed to interact. It's too much. You're doing too much, as the kids say, right? There's something that's lost. And that's, I know some people may say like, you know, that lying, scheming bitch, that Black Widow, she's just like, you know, whatever, like some sort of scheming femme fatale. I sincerely don't get it. I don't get that from her at all. Like, to be honest, I don't sense any sophistication in what Erika's doing. I don't feel like she's a sophisticated speaker. I don't even feel like she's a sophisticated liar. Like, there's not even anything clever or witty or elaborate about her lies. Like, it's bizarre, actually, how obvious it is and how public they're allowing it to be. We'll get into that in another video. There's nothing sophisticated about like how she presents visually, her fashion attire. So this whole like she's scheming for another, like, man, I just don't get it. It truly translates to me as someone who does not understand context and appropriate presentation, because what she was exposed to was inappropriate. What she was exposed to, what was normal to her, what was in her world was a transgression of boundaries, was a blurring of lines, was intimacy in the wrong places with inappropriate people in context that did not call for any intimacy at all. That's essentially what I'm getting there. You know, there's many lenses. There's many lenses. We all have different glasses on. We can all put different shades to view one thing, one situation, right? So these are essentially the lens I'm offering you. You can keep them on, you can put them off, you can consider it. But yeah, there's just something in me. I just recognize it. Like, there's something in me that recognizes a mishandling. She was mishandled. There was like grooming, and that's not to negate her behavior or her interaction. My attempt in sharing this with all of you is just to zoom out and consider a bigger picture, because I think to truly get to the bottom of Erika Kirk and what's going on, we do have to zoom out. We do have to zoom out to what I am specifically honing in on, not only the mother-daughter relationship, but that mother and her relationships and what she exposed the child to, and what these relationships, what their vested interests are, and where the money comes for their interests, and how they use pawns to feed back into them, and how the mothers get a portion of what's being consumed, which is it's monetary. It's all a money scheme. It's all a money scheme. And it's really sad and it's really unfortunate. And like I said, it doesn't negate what's done or what's being done, but I think it's worth having a more thorough examination. It's worth zooming out. It's worth kind of like looking at things from other angles. And that's what I plan to continue to do.